I'd like to call the meeting to order for Monday, August 15th, 2016. Please rise for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Kevin Chaney will lead us in prayer.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We pray for those that are sick and in need in our community. We pray for our nation's police officers as they volunteer to protect us and their families in this times in this country. We've seen so many tragedies involving the police departments. Please give us the wisdom tonight to make our decisions for the best of our community. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Next on the agenda, please show all here but Carolyn Norman. And I ask you that you would remember Lewis Norman, keeping his prayers. He's undergoing some medical issues. Started this weekend. He's been in the hospital and is having some things going on. So just keep Lewis.
He's still in hospital.
He's out, but he had several doctor's appointments today and tomorrow. Just remember Lewis, former alderman, and keep him and his family in your prayers. Next item on the agenda, approval of minutes. We entertain a motion to approve the minutes from August 1st, 2016.
Move.
Have a motion from Mike Morgan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Terry Glover. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Next item of business, unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business? Under new business, attorney invoice. Attorney invoice was attached in your packet. The amount $16,837.50. We entertain a motion to approve that.
So moved.
The motion from Kevin Chaney. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Bob Kirk. Any discussion?
Mayor, I have a question. This particular lawsuit that where there was a substantial amount of expense, is the pool which we have coverage with, is they representing us as well as the city attorney?
The pool is not representing us yet, and I think we'll get some details about that later.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Any other questions?
Does that mean we can maybe possibly get reimbursed some of this?
I don't know the answer to that. We'll find that out later, I think.
Okay.
Any other questions? Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Bids, Greg Williams.
I have two tonight. The first being with the fire department. It's to replace a diesel engine in one of the rescue trucks. On your sheet, so it's got a 2005. It's actually a 2010. I looked at the wrong information when I was drawing the sheet up. This was an item that was discussed in the budget, and there was $16,000 included in the budget for this. I sent notification through the State Gazette and direct to 3 vendors, and got 3 bids back ranging from $21,441.33 to $17,556.54. I recommend awarding the bid to J&P Machine of Dyersburg to replace this engine at a cost of $17,556.54.
You've heard the recommendation. Entertain a motion to approve this.
So moved.
Motion from Kevin Chaney. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Bill Eskew. Any discussion?
I
Is this
got a
the-
question.
Excuse me. Go ahead.
We had 2 fire rescue trucks, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
And I think in the budget, and we leave one in the budget for a new one?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And is this the one that they was talking about needed a engine replaced, and we're getting rid of the other one, keeping this one? Or we're gonna have 3?
We're gonna trade the 2005 in for a new one and get this one fixed.
So we're still gonna end up with 2 and get rid of
Correct.
one? That's all.
That's the same question I had. Thank you.
This, I'm assuming, we're to assume this is a remanufactured?
This actually is a Jasper engine.
Oh, okay. So it's
Carries
not,
a 1-year unlimited mile warranty.
okay.
Any other questions? Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries.
Next item is for the landfills, professional services for testing and inspection that TDEC requires to meet their guidelines. The funding was included in the cell construction funds. but Scott wanted to keep this separate because he wanted to hire our own inspector and not rely, or not include that into the bid where the contractor was providing the inspector. Notification was given through the State Gazette and direct to 3 vendors. I had 1 response from Construction Materials and Laboratory out of Jackson, Tennessee. I recommend that we award that bid to them, not to exceed $65,000.
Further recommendation, entertain a motion to approve this.
So moved.
Motion from Bob Kirk, is there a second?
Second.
Second from Mike Morgan, any discussion?
Is this the same testing and inspection that's been required on the new cell constructions in the past, or is this something new that TDEC's come out with?
No, it's guidelines they test to make sure that the clay liner is in place like it should be and meets all the tests. And then when the liner's put in, they inspect that, make sure that it's installed like it should be.
So this isn't something new that
No,
TDEC's come
it's
up
to
with?
meet their
We've had it all
guidelines.
along,
Correct.
on the previous cells that we've constructed, right?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is Street and Sanitation Committee meeting minutes from August 4, 2016. Chairman Mike Morgan.
Thank you. The Street and Sanitation Committee met on Thursday, August the 4th, 2016 at 10 a.m. in the second floor conference room at City Hall. Members present was Mayor John Holden, Bill Eskew, Committee Chairman Mike Morgan. Other aldermen and board members Bob Kirk and Terry Glover. Staff and others present was Thomas Mullins and Kevin Jocelyn with Code Enforcement, John Damesworth with Sanitation, Greg Williams, Purchasing, Steve Isabel, Chief of Police, Brandon Hutchison with State Gazette, Mike McCullough with the Street and Water Department Superintendent, John Lanham and Christine Coronado, attorneys for the City of Dyersburg. The committee convened to discuss the review of the RFP for contracted solid waste services. Mr. Greg Williams presented RFP number 07196-0816-2, solid waste collection services for residential commercial customers. The committee reviewed the document and made specific recommendations for minor changes. On a motion by Chairman Mike Morgan with a second by Alderman Bill Eskew, the RFP was approved by the Committee for Public Advertisement. And I think we'll need to put that in form of a motion.
Okay.
Somewhere.
Have a motion from Mike Morgan, is there a second?
Second.
Have a second from Robert Taylor Jr. We are continuing to work on this. I think some of the vendors have been by looking at equipment, so they want us to include a list of the equipment. They also want us to put a bid sheet in the back so everybody's bidding on the same thing. But before we send that out, we will send this to all the aldermen to make sure you're okay with some minor adjustments we've made. But that,
We're
once,
still talking about the same time frame we had talked about earlier?
it's gonna be a little bit later.
Okay.
We've had feedback from those companies that want to bid that if they had some more time, they could do their due diligence and inspect the equipment and some other things and get some accurate information in order to give us a better bid, so.
Okay, thank you.
And again, before we send that out, we'll send it to all of you. Do what?
I've already sent that in now on the,
Okay,
project.
okay, all right.
Thank you.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second? Robert Taylor Jr. had a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries.
Second item on the agenda was the property maintenance codes and curbside pickup. The current provisions of the city curbside pickup and property maintenance codes were discussed. Mayor Holden noted the committee's purpose is to review the current policy and make recommendations for any amendments required to address current violations associated with curbside debris. The committee reviewed specific components within the policies. The committee recognized a significant problem that has developed over the years since the city's policy changed in an attempt to assist citizens with debris extending beyond the original intent for grass and other yard debris pickup. Central to the discussion was a review of regulation, potential fines and fees, citations to court for violations, and educational processes for the general public regarding policy and public health safety. Mayor Holden and Thomas Mullins cited recent examples of curbside and litter abuse. Photographically recorded around the city, noting that these photos were represented as significant issues to be addressed by any policy changes. At the conclusion of the discussion, the committee asked the city attorney to develop a draft policy potentially involving property maintenance ordinance changes. These changes may address clarification as what the city will remove from the curbside, reducing the time frame for expediting the property owner notifications as the debris removal, curbside posted notification for debris removal, utilizing the city as a removal agent for the prepaid fee, and potentially returning the overall city curbside service to the 2004 policy. No further actions were taken by the committee, and the meeting adjourned at 10 a.m.
Okay, I don't think we need any action on that. Any questions about that?
This involving property maintenance ordinance changes by the city attorney, have we heard anything from them, or is it too early?
I think it's too early. We set that meeting. We'd like to gather again in 2 weeks. That'll be the end of this week.
Okay.
I was also asked to contact various cities to see what they're doing. I have done that, and I've got a list of what other cities around us are doing as far as making
All right, thank you.
pickup and
Thank
charges. Any other questions? Thank you, Mike. Next on the agenda, Airport Committee meeting from August 8, 2016. Chairman Dennis Moody.
The Airport Committee met Monday, August 8th at 10 a.m. at City Hall's second floor conference room. Members present, Mayor John Holden, Alderman Dennis Moody, Alderman Bob Kirk, and Alderman Bill Askew. Other aldermen present, Mike Morgan, Kevin Chaney, and Terry Glover. Staff present, Greg Williams, City Purchasing Agent, Tommy Gibbons, Airport Director, Scott Ball, Stormwater and Construction Inspector. Others present, Brandon Hutchison, State Gazette, Patrick Hackathorn, Crosby Childress, and Ray Lawrence of the Forkham Lanham Contractors. Chairman Moody opened the meeting with prayer and announced that the sole agenda for the meeting was the review of the request for proposal to build an aircraft storage hangar at the city's airport. Greg Williams provided a copy of the RFP and stated the only one was Hackathorn Partnership as their proposal was received. He read a summary of the proposal before the committee, stating that after receiving the proposal, he and Mr. Hackathorn had worked together on the proposal to meet the mutual needs of the city and the Hackathorns. After general discussion, Chairman Moody noted that it would be important for the project to keep in mind the future mayor and board of aldermen, that they may have different initiatives for the airport, to keep that in mind. Alderman Bob Kirk made a motion to accept the proposal and to authorize Greg Williams to work with the city attorney and the Hackathorn partners to complete all the necessary legal project contract documents. The motion was seconded by Bill Askew and passed by the committee. No other business. The meeting was adjourned at 10:25 a.m. Mayor, I guess we need to bring that in form of a motion. The one that we had, that the proposal, accept the proposal and authorize Greg Williams to work with the city attorney and the Hackathorns to complete all the necessary legal contracts. So
Okay.
I put that in the form of a motion.
All right, thank you. And I think it's the consensus of this board that we want to lease it and not sell it, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So we have a motion by Mr. Moody. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Robert Taylor Jr. Any discussion?
Some of the details have still got to be worked out, hadn't it, Greg, on,
We're waiting on approval by the board before we vote.
before you work on those? Okay, then, okay, all right, okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Have a motion, second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the actual proposal for the development of that area. That was all included in your agenda as well that Alderman Moody referred to. The next item is Local Government Committee meeting minutes from August 10th, 2016. Chairman Kevin Chaney.
Thank you, Mayor. The Local Government Committee met Wednesday, August 10th, 2016 at 8:30 a.m. in City Hall's second floor conference room. Committee members present, Mayor John Holden, Terry Glover, Kevin Chaney, and Dennis Moody. Other aldermen present, Mike Morgan, Bill Askew, and Bob Kirk. Staff and others present, Kelly Noel, Utility Collections Manager, Steve Anderson, Treasurer, Greg Williams, Purchasing Agent, Kevin Joslin, Thomas Mullins, Code Enforcement, Duncan Ing, Mike Smith, and Brandon Hutchison, State Gazette, Susan Thompson, Utility Billing Supervisor, and Joe Yates, Yates Furniture. The meeting opened with a prayer by Alderman Moody. Chairman Chaney stated the committee was convened to discuss the following: discussion of temporary businesses. This included a spectrum of mobile businesses, from food, agriculture, furniture, to clothing and any other temporary mobile vendors operating within the city limits. There have been complaints to the city from established permanent businesses regarding competition and legitimacy of temporary operators. The committee agreed that the city should have ordinance language that specifically address temporary and mobile vending coming to the city. Thomas Mullins presented a draft ordinance text for consideration prepared by the city planner. The committee requested staff to continue to consult with the city planner to design proposed ordinances that would include vendor location, zoning restrictions, licensing, length of time for temporary business permits, schedule of permit fees, the number of businesses permits issued over a controlled and designated period of time within a calendar year, the state of Tennessee requirements, methods for enforcement, legal and financial consequences for violation of citations, and other pertinent considerations when the drafting of the ordinance. Staff was asked to review the practices and policies for temporary and mobile vendors of like municipalities for further information to present to the committee. The committee requested to reconvene in 2 weeks to consider discussion of the issue. The second item was utility department rules and regulations. The committee reviewed an updated edition, proposed amendments and additions to the utility collections department current rules and regulations. Alderman Dennis Moody made a motion to adopt the update with the exception that the city return to the former method of mailing out second notifications to customers with past due bills. That's removals, billing section 8, page 8. The motion was seconded by Alderman Terry Glover, passed the full committee vote. And at this time, I'd like to present that in the form of a motion that we adopt the new billing regulations.
Okay, I have a motion by Kevin Chaney. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mike Morgan. Any discussion?
I have a question about and I should have asked it earlier, I'm sure it's right. On the utility code, on page 5 at the bottom, it says, the city of Dyersburg utility department shall have the right to require customers present a rent receipt. We require it every time, don't we?
Yes, that was already in the previous rules and regulations, and that's the way it's always been.
Okay. That's all.
Okay, any other questions? Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Next item on the agenda, report from Alderman Bob Kirk.
Yes, Mayor, thank you. These retention ponds that were deeded to the city, have we commenced to mow them yet? I know some of them are getting pretty high. I thought as soon as the property owner deeded them to the city and was recorded, then we would probably mow them. But is that not the case?
To my knowledge, Mr. Kirk, none have been deeded to the city yet.
It haven't?
No, sir. I haven't heard from any of the.
That's what I was told they had been, so I just wanted to ask the question.
I sent the letter out, it's several weeks ago, and I've not heard anything from, the only person I've heard from was at the farms. Bracken called and said that the folks that own the 3 over there were wanting to do that.
Okay.
I have yet to receive any legal documentation of that. That's one of the people that contacted me.
Once it's recorded at the courthouse, is that official, or does it have to?
I think we have to accept it, sign it, and then it's recorded.
How long will that take? I mean, they're still growing, is what I'm saying.
Depends on when they get them to us.
Yeah.
Like I said, I haven't gotten anything from anybody about that.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Eskew?
I don't have anything, Mayor.
Mr. Glover?
I don't have anything.
Kevin?
I don't have anything. Thank you.
Mike?
No, sir.
Mr. Moody? Robert?
Do you have anything?
With that, we're adjourned. Thank you.